Welcome to the Have This Live show, where you can get ideas to help you grow your eco-conscious business. And today I'm joined by Virginia Cinquemani. Hello and welcome.
Yeah. Hello.
So Virginia is from Green Gorilla Consultants, and we're talking about empowering sustainability professionals to make an impact. So Virginia is the director and founder of Green Gorilla Consultants, a training and coaching company focused on empowering sustainable professionals to make an impact via tailored courses and one-to-one support. Virginia is also the author of Sustainable, How to Find Success as a Sustainability Professional in a Rapidly Changing World, and also the hub lead for Women in Sustainability in Hertfordshire. So quite a lot going on there, Virginia.
I'm a busy lady, yeah.
Definitely. But as we were talking before the show, looking forward to a little break over Christmas, hopefully.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for having me, Karen.
Oh, really pleasure to have you on the show. So that answers the question. So are you mainly training individuals, or are companies bringing their whole teams on board?
Until this point, so we started in 2018, until this point we had the majority of individuals, so people coming because they realize they can't quite communicate sustainability or the message in sustainability. They need to become more a bit stronger, maybe more assertive, so that's why they come, because they realize they lack something. But I have worked with some companies, and in fact 2021 is going to be my focus: corporates and small and medium enterprises.
Brilliant. So sort of making an impact sort of in the top down as well, not just the bottom up.
I think that's going to be a much, not that I don't love working with individuals, but I think if we really need to move towards a more sustainable society, it needs to go into businesses, and so and the impact would be so much bigger that way.
Fantastic. And have you noticed an upsurge in the desire for this sort of environmentally friendly training?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a combination of factors. Is society that is moving forward, is things like Greta Thunberg and Blue Planet 2, and millennials, of course, have been a little more aware about these topics, and lots of people, and universities now offer a lot of courses in sustainability. For example, when I trained too long ago, there was hardly any choice, and now the choice is huge. And for us at Green Gorilla, the pandemic in fact brought us a lot of new customers, because people are stuck at home and they rethink their careers and say, okay, I'm going to train again and do more complementary skills to what I already have, perhaps. So yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. And do you face much resistance when delivering training? And if so, how do you overcome this?
It depends. So usually, as I said, these individuals come into us because they understand they need to be trained. But sometimes I get engaged, like I've just finished delivering a course for a large corporate. And that started with our basic sustainability training for people in IT that knew nothing about it. So you do get the odd look like, yeah, whatever. People still think is a nice to have, expensive thing to add on any project. In fact, in IT, they thought they didn't have any impact because they deal with software, which obviously is completely untrue, considering data center and the energy that is needed to run them and all of that. And so there is a lot of bias, but there is also a lot of not knowing what it's all about, and having perhaps 20 years of greenwashing that have affected the way the majority of people see these things. So there is a lot of variety. The way I deal with that, and I dealt with this particular group is my latest example. I actually presented the facts, and I'm a very optimistic person, but you can't get away from what's been happening since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. What we can see here. Yesterday I was reading on the paper, in the UK we won't have any snow in 10 years time. That's it, whatever we're getting now, and then that's it. So the climate is changing, and it's real, and that's the thing. There's been a lot of lobbying to try and confuse us, but it's all real. So I present the facts, and also I want to be optimistic, so I present also the how we can, as individuals, as businesses, change this, but we have to pull together. So I try and be, diplomatic about this. I don't want to scare people, but they have to know what's going on. But on the other side, okay, what can we do now? So I do these things and try and see. I would say, for anyone that is listening, they have a business and struggle to communicate sustainability, the main thing is understanding who you got in front of you. So once you understand the person, once you understand the priorities, they might not care about the environment at large, but they might care about the children, they might care about their business. So understanding the sustainability ensures that resilience, that long-term, the longevity of a business, or a good future for our children can make the trick for some people. But you really need to spend some time creating that rapport, which arguably on digital is a bit more difficult. But once you understand who you got in front of you, use your empathy, understand that, and then you need to flex your message, flex your the way you communicate that message, and find the perfect solution for that problem. And that's all it is. But you need to have that capacity to understand other people, I think.
That's really, really brilliant advice. And I think because, it can be really difficult and some people don't know enough about it, or they feel very overwhelmed with the enormity of it, and yes, it is having an impact. And I think by denying that that's having an impact, I think is just putting your head in the sand. I think, like you're saying, by sort of embracing that and go, yes, it is, this is happening, change is coming. How can we come up with solutions? How can we become more resilient? I think that's brilliant. Would you say that businesses that develop their environmental and sustainable practices have an edge in today's market then?
I think it's more of a necessity now, it's becoming a necessity. And I'm quite pleased when I read on the paper things like Trump wants to drill the Arctic, but the Bank of America won't lend any money for that. That's brilliant. That is the world moving forward, because if the banks understand it, if the insurances understand it, that means that they see the value of sustainability. And so, but still, we are so besides being obviously a necessity, I think it's also, it gives an edge at this point because the market is still growing quite rapidly. So, and there is probably the majority of businesses out there that don't do anything sustainable. So by embracing sustainability, you're gonna basically embrace the next phase and the next chunk of your audience and your customers. And there is a lot of demand anyway. Demand comes from the bottom, but as I said, insurances and banks now want to see how you're operating. So it is definitely both a necessity and it gives you an edge at this stage.
Absolutely. And I think, in that way, you're going to be ahead of the curve. You're going to have gone through all those stages already and be leading the way and be able to showcase it to others as well. Yeah.
For example, just one other thing, supply chains. So especially if you create something, like if you have a physical product, supply chains are scattered around the world and often in countries that are more subject to the effect of climate change, for example. So by revisiting your business in a way that makes it more resilient, you're going to ensure your business is going to be there in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time. So it makes just business sense, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Brilliant. Really good advice. So what is your top eco business tip? I'm sure you've got many, but if you can...
I struggle to come up with one thing, but I say dare to have a vision, challenge the status quo. It's, forever growth is impossible, but aim at thriving, aim at having your business thriving and do well, but do also good. So embed sustainability in your day-to-day operations. Don't think it's just about the profit, because it's going to come back to you tenfold, and I'm absolutely sure about that.
Fantastic. Oh my goodness, so much good tips to take away there. Thank you. And to find out more about you, Virginia, people can find you at theGreenGorilla.co.uk. Is that correct? Yeah, and I know you're also very busy on LinkedIn. Virginia does some amazing posts. She does some amazing live shows, also interviewing guests, talking around topics. So do go and check her out on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for joining us, Virginia. It's been such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Karen, for having me. And yeah, looking forward to meet everyone else and to your questions as well. Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, and so next week we'll be talking to Jo Gregory from Creative Nature about weaving your way up the high street. So that will be a really interesting one, because she is one of these people that his business has survived on the high street when a lot of others haven't. So thank you also to all our viewers who've been tuning in, and for those of you who are watching the replay, do keep your comments coming and we'll be responding to them throughout the day. Thanks so much. Goodbye and see you next week.